Okay, this is the character strengths introduction assignment, support video, instructions for this one. As per usual, your name and SACE number, you know that by now, so I did hand those out in the lesson. Make sure you go to this website. There's also the short YouTube video clip on that website that I did showing you how to explore it, but that's got a lot of key information and a good go-to place for any assignment that you do this year that involves anything on character strengths. So please access the support videos. And remember, obviously, there's not right and wrong answers. That's the joy with character strength. It's just about learning about your person, your strengths, and identifying strengths in those people around you. A couple of definitions here to help you, one on personal identity and one on self-awareness. We did go through that in the lesson. If that still isn't clear, then please see me next time we get together. But this one here, both of these actually are very relevant to character strengths, because self-awareness is obviously knowing your own character, feelings, and who you are, which is directly linked to what we're talking about here. And if we know ourselves better, then our personal identity will actually evolve over time. It's that idea about who you are. That's trickier to define. It's quite a philosophical term, but yeah, so that's going to help us if we know what our strengths and weaknesses are. We've got 3 performance standards, so again, it carries a bit of weight, this assignment, and we are referring to our first capability in this piece of work, which is developing a sense of personal identity and self-awareness, hence why I put those definitions in. Question 1 is a very basic question. What are they? How do we group them? We're not asking for really detailed answers. We're talking about virtues and naming some of those strengths and how they are grouped together. I'm asking you for a good image or a graphic that shows all of that in one particular image. And also I want you to tell me about some of the potential benefits that using a character strength approach to our lives can actually can be useful. And obviously there's one of them, because it will help develop our self-awareness. Question 2, you've already done the survey, so you need to print off another copy of that in black and white. And then I want you to talk about your signature strengths and your lesser strengths. Your 6 signature strengths are obviously your top 6, and your lesser strengths are your bottom 6. And I want you to tell me about one of them and give me a reason about why you're proud about one of your particular strengths, and also which one would you like to improve, and why you'd want to do that. Question 3, we obviously looked at the example of Sam Willoughby, a really good example of someone who's facing an uphill battle right now with a sporting injury and showing a lot of perseverance through that process. And we looked at the character strengths that he would probably have to show to get through this difficult time, and also the character strengths that probably his friends and family around him would also have to show to support him through that process. So that was the example that we looked at, and I want you to then choose someone. Hopefully it will be a sporting person, because we really need to keep our examples linked to a sport or physical activity. That could be UFC, it could be an athlete, it could be a runner, anything whatsoever that we can link to sport and physical activity. Okay, and I want you to tell me a little bit about the person. What are the strengths you admire? 3 or 4 strengths about that particular person. And also perhaps give a sporting example or an example of where they've demonstrated these strengths and how. So I want a bit of explanation in that answer for that high grade band. Question 4, at your best. So I want you to think ideally of a sporting example when you're at your best. I mean, if you can't think of one, then just an example where you have really felt happy with yourself, where you've walked away feeling really good. Even in sport, if you've lost and a PE lesson where things haven't necessarily gone well, but you felt really good about how you handled a specific situation. So anything really, PE, sport, in a local club, or even with a physical activity goal, or when you went to the gym and lifted a certain weight, or whatever it might be. I want you to tell me about the situation, and then list 3 signature strengths that you were dipping into during that particular example. What were you really using and dipping into? And then to get that even higher band, I want you to tell me, well, whilst I was dipping into these strengths, I still feel that this was one that I could have potentially been a lot better at. So tell me what that would be and why, and how you could have done that better. So that's that personal example that I'm wanting you to look at. Okay, question 5 is personal and social capability links. So we've looked at that. Okay, and I'd like you now to answer these 2 guiding questions. How can working with character strengths help increase your self-awareness? And in relation to your personal identity, what have you learned about yourself during this assignment? Now, I'm really keen on people to come and speak to me about this question, because we really need to get this link to the capabilities really good, because it's going to be a big part of the course. So tell me about how using character strengths can help the self-awareness, and explore that idea of your personal identity. What have you learned about yourself during this assignment? And that should be fairly simple, because we're really dipping into what your strengths are, so you'll be telling me about things that you've learned. Okay, there's the performance standards. You got 3, and that's basically it. Okay, remember, you can email me 24/7, any questions, and I'll answer them as soon as I can.